Irrigation valves, manifolds, and boxes are some of the more expensive items in a sprinkler system, so make sure you do it right.
And if you do it right, you'll have a lot less headaches later. Okay, so here's the front valve box. We've got the main line coming in right here. So I've got a nice big hole dug for this. Now, if you're here, where would you put the box? Would you put it closer to the front here or closer to the back? Personally, I would keep the manifold towards the back of this hole so you have more room after the valves in the lateral lines for repairs later if you needed to. Because if you notice, there is a T in one of them that's a couple feet away. So if you go really close and you have to do a repair later, it's going to make it really tough. So if you give yourself a little extra room, it'll be easier if you do have to do maintenance on it later. One important thing to remember too is when you go to install these lateral lines connected to these valves, you'll notice because of the manifold, like most manifolds, they line up the exact same distance from each other. So when you cut your pipes, you want them to be the same distance from each other as well. So they're going to be the same length. Now, if you try and put one on and then cut the other one and shove that on, it's going to be a real mess for you. So what I like to do is have the valves here, get the pipes all cut, and put them on at the same time and work them in together. When you have one valve, it's easy. Two valves, not so hard. But you get into 4 or 5 valves that are all connected together, and it gets to be really tricky.
I want to take a minute to talk about manifolds. Now, there's lots of different ways to build them, but for most of my residential installs, I use swivel manifolds. There's lots of different brands out there, but here's some things to look out for.
So here's a closer look at the difference in O-rings. So this is where it makes a difference. So this O-ring, this slot here, you can see the gray plastic on both sides. And on this one, you can only see it on the inside, and it's very thin. So what that allows is a little bit more flexibility, a little bit more tension on this than these. Because if you have 2 pieces of pipe coming together and they get tight enough to where it pushes against that hard plastic, then you lose that seal right there. On this one, you don't have that problem. So here's just another quick note about the difference in O-ring. So this is the Spears. This O-ring here is quite a bit thicker than most other brands, as you can see here. Now this one is another brand of manifold that I also like. It's called Action, and this has some advantages, but one thing I don't like about it is that the size of the O-ring is quite a bit smaller. The diameter, the thickness here, you can see it's quite a bit smaller than this one, which is less forgiving if you have tension on any kind of pipes. But Action, also a good manifold, as well as Spears. This is the one I use more than anyone else. Another reason I like these swivel manifolds is you can make the adjustments in the field to accommodate for your needs. So if you need the valve to be a little bit lower than where your main line is, you can easily adjust that there. Or if it's the other way around, you can just turn it down like that. So if your main line's deeper than your valves, you can easily adjust that down. You can adjust it up, whatever you need to do for that. That really makes it convenient. So in this manifold box in the backyard, I'm going to do something a little bit different, and I'll show you why. Okay, so here's a closer look at that main line coming in to the valve box here. Now, instead of putting the manifold in line like that, which would be convenient, and it runs straight through, and I could easily run these laterals coming in this way. I could put 90s, whatever I want to do. There's a reason why I don't want to do that in this particular case, and it's because this main line goes around the house quite a ways to feed 3 other valves. And when we're talking that much distance, any little thing can make a difference, like the thickness of this pipe. Now you can see if the main water is running through here compared to staying in this pipe, this is significantly larger, allows more flow and less pressure reduction if you continue in the main line here. If we put this right in the main line, it would restrict the flow going past it. And so to avoid that, what I'm going to do is put a T off of the main line. And yes, putting a T in does affect the pressure, but very little compared to running through an entire manifold like this. There's a lot more turbulence and restriction in this than there is in a simple T here. So the T will go here, run over, and we'll connect it to the manifold right here. So yes, here can affect the pressure, but it's only affecting one zone at a time as to oppose the entire system. Also, having it set in this position will allow easier maintenance down the road if I have to do anything to the laterals. I know they're going straight out into all the separate trenches going back out. So that is a repair issue that we can avoid. But also too, if we have a problem with the main line, we don't have a manifold that's tied into it. It's just that one T right there. If we have to replace this manifold or valves or anything like that, it's separate from the main and we don't have to dig up the whole thing. So this simple fix, tying it off of the main line and running out this way, keeps our pressure up, keeps the flow up, reduces maintenance nightmares in the future, and makes it easier to install and repair. Okay, how to install the sprinkler box over the valves. So positioning of the valve box is really important. You don't want it too close to the solenoids here, because sometimes this inside can cave in or it can get tweaked and pushed and put pressure on these solenoids. So here's the valve box. This particular manifold only has 2 valves in it. Now I could have put it in like a 10-inch round, little 10-inch round box, and it would have been okay. But I like to give myself plenty of room for future repairs if needed. So by doing this, putting 2 valves in a standard box, this gives me plenty of room to work on the valves if I need to. I can replace the manifold if I need to. I can disconnect here if I need to. This gives me lots of room for future repairs if needed. Also, when it comes to the sizes, if you're going to do a single valve, you can do just a 6-inch round or a 10-inch round. That's okay. For these standard size boxes, I would recommend 2, no more than 4 valves in a box. You can get a jumbo box, which is much larger. You can put 5 or 6 in there. But again, if you're putting 5 or 6, you might be running into other maintenance problems. So I like to break up my systems into smaller, manageable manifolds. When it comes to exiting the box, I've seen people drill holes in the side of the box and then push the pipe through. And yes, that does keep some dirt out, but take it from a repairman, a professional irrigation tech. Don't do that. It's going to cost you so much more money, because now the technician has to not only try and get the box out, but he has to cut your pipes to do it. And it's a huge mess if you just drill those holes in. Might keep a cleaner box for a little period of time, but down the road, it's going to cost you money. So please don't just drill holes and push your pipes through. The other thing is too, don't just put your box directly on top of the pipes without having some sort of support. Because if we just threw the box in like this, you're putting pressure on the main line pipe, on the lateral lines here, and it's gonna cause problems down the road. So I've roughly got this marked where the main line's coming in and where the 2 lateral lines are going out. So it's roughly marked there. So now I'm gonna cut it. There's a few ways to cut it. I'll show you 2 ways that can save you a bunch of time. So I've got this cut. Now this is one way you can do it to save a little time. You don't have to do straight cut, straight cut, straight cut. You can kind of put a little curve to it, especially if you're using a Sawzall or a thin bladed saw, and just put a little taper on it to where it kind of comes to a point, and this will save you a little bit of time. The other tip is here, if you do want to make a larger cut, you can kind of cut this at a slight angle, and instead of trying to get a saw in there and cut all the way across, you can just use a utility knife and kind of score it going across here. Score it just a couple of times, and then you can grab a pair of pliers and snap it off. Okay, so I've scored it a few times, bend it this way. There you go, just comes right off. And that's it. So now, nice clean break. You don't have to try and cut that and make it all ugly with the Sawzall. Now don't throw these pieces away, because these will come in handy later. So here we go. We've got it put back in there. We've got a nice little notch for the main line. We've got a nice little notch for our laterals right there. And we're nice and stable. Now with these extra bits, we can use these to fill in some holes if we need to. So if we wanted to, we could put it out here like this. or we could put it over here on this side, and you can put a little piece of duct tape over that to seal that in, or you can use the larger piece like this. Now, I don't know if you want to set the sharp side on that pipe because you're going to cut right through it. So if you're going to set anything on it, use this shallow side here. But if you do this, again, you have to be very careful about getting that compacted down. So what I might do is trim this down a little bit, put it vertical between the two, and then that way it will not be putting pressure down on the pipes. And sometimes you have to do something different. Like in this particular case, we have it pretty well level with the grade in this corner here, and it's sitting right on the ground. But over here, it's level with the grade, but we have a gap. So if we just leave it like this, this corner is going to come down and put pressure on all these pipes, which we do not want. Cutting that out also doesn't make sense at this point because you're just going to create more of a space for dirt and debris to come in. So what we're going to do here is actually build up from the ground, because just throwing sand and dirt underneath this is not going to make this solid going forward. So we'll build a little block area here to support it. So we can use just some old bricks or things like that. You can use wood if you want, knowing that it will deteriorate at some point. I like to use brick because then you don't have to worry about it ever deteriorating on you. So this one, we're going to support this box using bricks. And really, it's little tips like this that might seem like details, but they're going to save you headaches. It's going to save you money. It's going to save you time down the road. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Appreciate any positive feedback you have. And if you have any questions, drop me a comment below. I love to help people out.